When I first played Little Nightmares back in 2017, it managed to stand out among the many puzzle platformers of that era. The atmosphere and setting were utterly unique, and multiple games in one developer later, with Little Nightmares 3, that mantra hasn't weakened one bit. This time around, you're controlling a duo, whether it's with a friend or through the use of an AI ally. Going through these titular nightmares with a partner helps make things more interesting, and the AI is good enough to function on its own, so don't be scared off if you're bummed out that this isn't strictly a solo series anymore.
The Little Nightmares vibes are still here.
One of my favorite things about the Little Nightmares series is that you're smack dab into gameplay within seconds. Tutorials are shown at the bottom of the screen in text format, but you don't really need to use them. Early on, you'll master jumping, running, sneaking, grabbing, and utilizing your character-specific items. Those are pretty much all the tools you'll need to get through most of the game's puzzles and platforming sequences. This ethos of streamlining extends to the game's story, which maintains a reasonable degree of subtlety throughout its runtime. Oftentimes, you can infer what's happening to these kids as you adventure through the game's perilous puzzles, but the focus is kept on the game's visuals and gameplay pretty much at all times, barring infrequent cutscenes that you can't control. The camera angles, ambient sound, and use of various horror genre elements are wonderfully executed, which is fitting coming from a studio like Supermassive Entertainment. While a lot of the sequencing blends together and some of the slower moments stick out, you pretty much never know what's coming next. That tension is rarely broken, but at times the controls can be a bit imprecise, which can lead to a few deaths. It isn't ideal, but given that there are checkpoints in nearly every room in the game, it's easy to pick yourself back up and try something a little different if you fall off a cliff or fail due to misunderstanding a puzzle.
Co-op works in its favor, even solo.
As a fan of Little Nightmares 3's solo-oriented predecessors, I was skeptical of the AI going in, but it worked like a charm. For my first playthrough, I settled on low and donned the bow and arrow. The auto-aiming takes some getting used to, but for 90% of the puzzles on offer, it's completely manageable. Alone is even easier to grasp with a wrench, which is primarily used for smashing things, hazards and enemies alike. Like many other co-op games, you can't go too far from one another, as specific doors need to be opened by both party members before you can proceed. But in some instances, I found myself way ahead of the AI and had a significant amount of freedom to explore. It's a decent compromise for most co-op sessions, as it tethers you close enough but still allows for some autonomy. The chase sequences are one of those cases. As I was taking in the sights, my AI partner ran off in an instant and left me stranded staring right at a giant, grimacing creature. Many co-op sessions will likely feature these kinds of moments, which complement the start and stop nature of the new co-op-centric level design. There's also potential for teams to work together to solve puzzles even more quickly, much like a modern escape room game. I can already see the gears turning for potential co-op speedruns for Little Nightmares 3. Unfortunately, there are a few technical caveats. Co-op play is online only, locks that particular save file to co-op, and does not support cross-platform play. Fortunately, it does have a friend pass.
Another cozy and creepy classic. The Little Nightmares series is excellent at what it does. It plops you into a terrifying locale with just a little guy and gives you enough tools to fend off the impending darkness. It strikes a great balance of allowing some form of a power fantasy for folks who are great at puzzle platformers, but also ensures that you can still feel helpless. Although Tarsier Studios deserves credit for helping put Little Nightmares on the map, Supermassive has been a great steward of the series thus far. Plus, we're also getting Reanimal next year from Tarsier, so it's kind of the best of both worlds here. The gaming industry is better off with more atmospheric horror titles like Little Nightmares 3.